Guys, glad you stopped by. As you can see, I still have no voice. That's all right. It's only been 4 days, a little better every day. I'm not going to be singing any rock songs anytime soon, doing any operas, things of that nature, but that's all right. It's talking's overrated. Anyhow, today I thought we would do one out of the books, although this one is typed. It's not handwritten, which I thought was pretty cool. And the name on the bottom of this is Arleta Panning, and it is a pistachio cake. And it is really easy and straightforward. I have yet to make it, so I don't know what it's going to taste like. But it involves a bunch of stuff you can get at the store. Really, it's readily available. We're going to use a box cake mix. We are going to doctor it up a little bit with a little with a little pudding. We are going to use some eggs, some oil, and some water. That is the extent of our ingredient list. It is hands down crazy, but that's all right. I think it's going to taste good all the same. And the fact that somebody took the time to type it out says a lot, you know, hands down. But that being said, if you're new and this is your first video with us, welcome. Glad you stopped by. I hope you consider maybe hitting that subscribe button. If you are returning or one of our new subscribers, we are always growing in leaps and bounds, and I find that amazing that we can have a neighborhood that's constantly growing and everybody is nice. You know, we solely food and conversation, but that's okay. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. All three of those things help out. It keep us in the algorithm, keep us relevant, along with comments. Comments are really important to the algorithm, and I respond to every single one of them. Only thing I ever ask is you be polite. It's okay to disagree with me or anybody in the comments. Just be polite when you do so. Think before you type. Other than that, there's not a whole lot of rules. You know, we're here to talk. If you have questions, comments, concerns, whether it be about cooking, baking, or just everyday life, why not? I'm sure somebody will have an answer. But I'm going to give you all your measurements in tablespoons, teaspoons, and cups. Also in milliliters and grams. That way, no matter where you're at, you can play along. So that being said, let's hop on down here to the counter and we're going to get started on this cake. All right, we are down here at the counter. So things we will need to do first: turn our oven on 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius. And then I went ahead and buttered and floured a Bundt pan. Now this recipe doesn't say what size Bundt pan, it just says Bundt pan. So I'm going to assume it is a 10-cup Bundt pan, which is a large Bundt pan. The only one I've ever seen bigger for, I want to dare say, everyday use is an 11-cup. And it's really not a whole lot bigger than this, just a little taller. But that's what it says. So oven at 350, buttered and floured our Bundt pan. Even though it doesn't say to butter and flour it, butter and flour. Very important. The only other thing we're going to need for this, I mean, you could use a stand mixer if you're so inclined, but I didn't feel like dragging mine out today, so I'm just going to use my hand mixer. And I got a large bowl. And in this large bowl, I have one boxed cake mix. It's a yellow cake. This recipe calls for a Duncan Hines yellow cake mix. I'm sure you could use whatever 15-ounce, 432 gram box of cake mix that you like, that's your preferred. But it is, I know some companies make like a double batch box of cake mixes and brownie mixes. This is just the single batch. And we're literally going to dump all our ingredients in here. So the next thing we're going to need to put in here is 3 of the small 3.4 ounce packages of pistachio pudding. And that's they're the 96 gram packages for a total of 286 grams total of pistachio pudding. And we're going to go ahead and get that in there. And then we are going to add 4 large eggs at 200 grams. And I'm just going to break the yolks up real quick. You don't have to make them like super broke, but it'll make it easier when you're mixing so you're not chasing them around. So we go ahead and get those in there. This really is just all dump and go. And then I've got 1 cup, 240 milliliters of vegetable oil. You just want to use a flavorless oil, or maybe you want to use a flavored oil. I'm always more towards the flavorless oils, but I know of people that I've seen on YouTube and otherwise that will use a good avocado oil or a sunflower oil or something that has a flavor to it. Which, I mean, hey, rock on, that's awesome. But my water heat up here, it calls for 1 cup of hot water, and my sink gets pretty piping hot. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say hot tap water. Get it as hot as you can. 1 cup, 240 milliliters. And then we will take our hand mixer here, and we're just gonna go ahead and mix this up till it's completely combined. All right, so we got her all mixed up there. Get those out. And is that not just like the craziest bright green you've ever seen in your life? Once again, horrible lighting on that part, but crazy. It just screams 1960s and 70s green. I love it personally. But there are some people out there that might argue that point. So the next thing we're going to do, now that we've got that all mixed up and smooth, is go ahead and get this in our pan, just like such. All right, now that we got it in our pan, we'll go ahead and give it a quick smooth around here. Okay, so we are good. We are smooth around the top. And it was funny because when I was first reading the directions on this, I was thinking to myself, well, I hope it doesn't overfill the pan, because with Bundt pans, in case you didn't know this, no matter what recipe, you can use any cake recipe for a Bundt pan. You just want to make sure you never fill it more than 2/3 full. If you do, it'll raise out and over, and you'll have a mess. And if in doubt, put a pan on your bottom rack of your oven. That way, if something does happen, it hits the pan and not the bottom of your oven. Makes cleanup a whole lot easier. So what do we do now? Well, first thing we're going to do is we're going to put this in the oven, just like such. And then I am going to set my timer for 1 hour, 60 minutes. But I want to hit the timer, not the temperature. So we'll go ahead and put it on. We're going to go ahead and put that on for the hour. At about 50 to 55 minutes, I'm going to check it. I take a look at it, see if it's still wet on top. And depending on how it looks, I may put a toothpick in it, because we essentially just want a toothpick test it, right? We should be able to put the toothpick in there and pull it out, and there should be no batter on it. It should have some crumb, little pieces of the cake, but no batter. That way, we know that it's baked all the way through. The crumb just says that it's still moist, because remember, when we take it out, it's still going to continue to bake. But when I come back, we'll take a look at what we got and talk about what we need to do next. All right, I'll see you here in a second. Okay, so our timer just went off. So all we have to do now is go ahead and pull this bad boy out. I did check it at 50 minutes, and it didn't have batter on the toothpick, but it came out wet, almost like it had water on it. And I know from past experience that something like that says it's not quite done yet. So we went ahead and let it go the full 60 minutes, and now we'll just go ahead and get our toothpick in there. And I'm just going to stick it in the center of the Bundt right here, and that way it hits the furthest point. Now, if you have skewers, you would probably be in better shape. And I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that, but it does have, just little itty bitty crumbs on there, which tells me that, and it's not wet. So that's a good place to start. And then we'll go ahead and look at the other sides, because I always do all 4 sides when it comes to a Bundt pan. I don't know why, it's just something I have always done. Kind of like wearing the same t-shirt every time your favorite football team plays to ensure they win. But we're good to go. Let me bring this over to you so you can see it real quick. Oh, there is our finished product. See how it's got that nice light golden brown? And we can tap it, and it's sturdy. That's what we're looking for. So clean toothpick, tap, and it's sturdy. Now all we have to do is let this sit here for about 15 minutes, and then after that 15 minutes is up, we can go ahead and get it out of the pan. So see you here in a second. All right, so we've been 15 minutes letting this bad boy sit around, and I don't know if it's still hot or not, but I'm not gonna run that risk. So the next thing we need to do is go ahead and turn this out of the pan. So to do that, I'm just gonna simply take my rack here. I guess it's not that bad off, and flip it. And this is always like the most unnerving part for a good majority of, I don't know, everybody I know, is flipping over a Bundt pan. Now, I can honestly say I heard it, so I know we're okay. I believe. But a lot of times, it may not drop right away. I mean, you can sit here and you can tap this, a little lightly, but as long as you have it inverted, if you just let it be, for the most part, once it cools down enough, it will drop. But like I said, I heard this drop, so now I just have to make sure that it all dropped evenly. Nothing stuck, and it didn't. It looks really good. See, that's why I think buttering and flouring a Bundt pan, and just, you can never do too much of it, is probably the best way to go when it comes to Bundt pans. If you have a way you do it that you're sold on, let me know down in the comments below. But now all we have to do is just let this, ooh, that feels so good. Let this go ahead and sit, and we're gonna let it cool down to room temperature, and then when I come back, we can try some. All right, I'll see you here in just 1 second. Okay, so we let her cool, went ahead and got her on a plate, and there we are. I mean, I think it turned out really pretty. No cracks, no crevices. It did, I'm assuming, exactly like it's supposed to do. It looks just like a cake, so now what we do is I'm going to go ahead and get a piece cut, and then we can, I'm going to throw some whipped topping on it, but I really want to see how this turned out here in the center. All right, so we got her cut, and it looks really pretty on the inside. It's not nearly as green as I thought it was going to be. I really thought with it being pistachio traditionally being green, it would, be a lot greener on the inside than it is. And I would have been okay with that either way I went. But I'm really looking forward to trying this. Pistachios are one of my favorite nuts to begin with. And it seems like they were very popular through the 50s, 60s, and 70s. A lot of pistachio pudding recipes. It went into everything. Cake, just all kinds of stuff. But that's all right. We are gonna give this a shot. Let me get the whipped topping over here so we get an honest opinion of it. The whipped topping tastes good. I figured it would though, right? But let's give this a try. That was really good. It's, dare I say, refreshing. Even without the whipped topping. It just has a really nice pistachio taste, of course, but it's moist, it's tender. That crumb is amazing. You guys really need to give this a try. I mean, what was that? 6 ingredients? Financially speaking, other than the eggs, it's one of the cheaper cakes I've ever made. And if it wasn't for the price of eggs at the moment, it would probably be the cheapest cake I've ever done. However, that's 6 ingredients. That tastes absolutely amazing. It is so tender, and it's got great flavor. I like that. I like that a lot. Give this a try, and let me know if you do, or if you have this recipe, or you've made this for years. It's hard to say. I just know I had never heard about it before, and recently when I found this particular card, and I'm glad I did. I didn't even do any research into it. I was just like, oh, let's try this. I put it in an automatic, we're gonna try it pile. But either way, let me know. You won't be disappointed if you have never tried this before. I can almost see a glaze going on. That would be good. Sorry, notification popped up. But yeah, anyhow, give this a try. Let me know if you do, either down in the comments below or over on Facebook, Instagram, or however you like the social media. I'm pretty much there. Next week, I don't know what we're going to do for dinner. I don't know what we're going to do for dessert. I very rarely do I know until I either get inspiration or I get up and go, oh, you know what, this sounds good. But until next week, I love you. I love you very much. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Tell somebody else you love them and you love them very much. They may need to hear it. It's going to make them feel good either way. Guaranteed to put a smile on their face. It's going to put a smile on your face and make you feel good to tell them. That I guarantee also. And if you make them some of this pistachio cake, I guarantee they're going to smile. And it's going to lead to a good cup of coffee, some hours of conversation. And there's enough there. As always, you can invite the neighbors, some other friends over, guy walking the dog down the street, probably even that family of 3 that's right behind him. But it's an opportunity to make friends and stay in contact with those you already talked to. But until next week for dinner, I love you, and I will see you then. All right? See you later. Bye-bye.